It's always about a number, that's with any type of traffic.
For those needing help with arithmetic and or those who are actually teaching others who need help with arithmetic, we're going to go over division. And the reason why you learn division after addition, subtraction, and multiplication is because division involves all three of those processes. So addition, we know, we'll say 9 plus 3. 9 plus 3 equals, well, you know that we like to have the number line here. So actually, let me erase this really quick. Alright, it's the number line. Okay? If it helps you, if you want, you could draw this number line and put in all of the numbers. You know, if it floats your boat. Now, when we do an addition, you have something like 9 plus 3 equals, but we know we start at 9 and we count towards the right, or we count towards the positive direction. We add 3, we're going this way. 1, 2, 3. So 9, 10, 11, 12. Right? What about 9 minus 3? This would be subtraction. So subtraction, we're just going in the negative direction in the same way. 1, 2, 3. 9 minus 3. And that brings us to 6. And it just reminds me, another subject you should be sound on before we go into division is a sub-subject that is inequalities. And we just put a video about inequalities. I suggest you check it out if you are unsure about that information at all. Now 9 minus 3 equals 6. Now let's do multiplication. 9 times 3. Well, 9 times 3, as we learned from our past multiplication problems, is the same thing as saying 9 plus 9 plus 9. Sorry about that. Right? Because it's 9 times 3. It's 9 3 times. If you add them up, I'll just give y'all the answer, but y'all can always again count 9, and you count to another 9. You know these are 9 fingers, right? So you can start 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Then you count another 9. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So this is where we are with 9 times 3 equals 27. Then, what is 9 divided by 3? That's what we are going to solve for. So let's talk about let's go with 9. 9 divided by 3 essentially tells you how many times you're essentially asking how many times can you multiply 3 to get to 9. How many times can you multiply 3 for you to get to 9? Essentially, 3 times what number equals 9? That is division right there. Right there. That's what it is. That's what you're trying to find out. This actually, now let's go over some terms. You have the dividend, you have the divisor, and you're looking for the quotient. Okay? Now in multiplication, you have a multiplicand and a multiplicand and a product. Right? So essentially, your divisor becomes a multiplicand. Your divisor is a multiplicand. This is your product. You're trying to find the other product. And if you know multiplication, you know, as far as the terms that are used in addition, subtraction, multiplication, again, refer to those videos that furthermore break down exactly what's going on in those processes. So I'm assuming you are comfortable with addition, subtraction, and multiplication, which you should be. It's pretty straightforward when you're not dealing with any negative numbers. And if you are dealing with negative numbers, it might take one extra step, maybe two, but it's all the same. Another way to write a division problem is you got 9 divided by 3, and you're looking for the quotient. Again, dividend, divisor, looking for the quotient. Quotient is your answer in a division problem. The dividend is the number that is going to get broken up. The divisor is how many times you want to be able to break this up. And the quotient is after dividing the dividend by this many times, you're left with this many pieces of this quotient, essentially. And if that lost you, it's okay. You'll understand it by the time we get to solving the problem. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, I'd be forgetful if I didn't say that another way to write this division problem is in fractional form. Now, fractions is something we haven't gone over yet, but we need to go over the division before we really get into what fractions are. But many of you have seen some fractions before in your life. Many of you have seen, especially the kids, I know my daughters love pizza, so all of you have seen pizza, right? Well, typically when you get your pizza, it's cut up in 8 slices. And again, I'll go over this more when we do a video on fractions, and if you are anticipating that video, definitely hit the subscribe button below to be able to be notified when it actually comes out. If you take 1 slice of pizza, so there are 8 parts to this pizza. So if you take any one slice you take out of here is 1/8 of a pizza. 1 out of 8. 1 slice is just 1 out of 8. All 8 slices is 8 out of 8. Alright? You could cut it into more slices if you want, and then your slices would be a smaller fraction, but that is what a fraction is. But I only say that to say this is another way to make a division problem, to write a division problem. Back to how do you solve for a division problem? Well, you actually are, again, finding out how many times can this number be multiplied and actually come up with your dividend. So, well, let's see. What is 3 times 1? 3 times 1, that's just 3 one time. What's 3 times 2? That's 3 2 times, which we know equals 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is 3 times 3? Well, we know that's 3 times, right? So it's 3, we know 3 plus 3 is 6, and then plus another 3, go from 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3 times 3 is 9. So that means that you can write out that's your answer. if you multiply this divisor, again, if you multiply this divisor, I don't want to confuse y'all. If you multiply this divisor, 3, by the number 3, you will actually get the dividend, the exact dividend. So that is your answer. That is your answer. And you don't believe that's your answer? Well, you take this quotient, you multiply it by your divisor. 3 times 3, we already know, gives you 9. 3 plus 3 plus 3. All right, now you subtract this product that you get from this number, and what do you get? What's 9 minus 9? Well, 9 minus 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That brings us to, say it loud. There you go. Once you do this process and get to 0, then you know, all right, I have the answer right here, and your answer, the quotient, is 3. So 9 divided by 3 equals 3. That's it. Now that's a very basic, very straightforward example of a division problem. So let's say we have 8 divided by 2. What does it equal? 8, and this can also be rewritten as 8 divided by 2, or 8 divided by 2 equals. Now, in school, on the arithmetic level, you're probably going to see it most of the time in this form. This is how you can set it up, or you can set it up this way. But if you know what you're doing, it almost doesn't matter. Because we are looking for how many times that the divisor can be multiplied before it equals the dividend. How many times we can multiply the divisor before it equals the dividend. So how many times we can multiply the divisor before it reaches the dividend, before it becomes the dividend? Well, let's see. Let's count by 2s. All right? 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Oh, look, we got to 8 right here. So, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. So we went from 0 to 8 by adding 2 4 times. So that's 4, right? So the answer you're looking for, the quotient that is, would be 4. You know, obviously you could do it the long way. Well, what's 2 times 1 equals? Well, that's 2. What's 2 times 2 equals? Well, that's 2 times, which is 4. What's 2 times 3? Well, that's 2 3 times, which equals 6. 2 times 4. Well, that's 2 4 times. So that's going to give us 8. That gives you 8. So that leaves you with your quotient being 4. Alright, here 4 times 2. What is 4 times 2? 4, 2 times, right? Which equals 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That brings us to 8. So, 4 times 2, 8, or 2 times 4, we know is 8. I only do it so you can feel comfortable when you're multiplying this. You don't have to remember, oh, do I multiply 2 times 4 or 4 times 2? It's the same answer. Always going to give you the same answer. And if you want to know why, or want to be more familiar with the reflexive properties of multiplication, go back to our multiplication video. Well, 4 times 2 equals 8. This leaves you 0, and you know when you come to a 0, that's when this division problem is over. Right? Because obviously 2 can't be divided into 0. So you would just have 0, you know, 0.0000. And you know, if you keep dividing it, you'll just end up with a bunch of zeros. But I don't want to confuse you. I'm sorry. I know it's a lot of young people or people who are not well versed in mathematics that are watching this. So I don't want to go too fast. I apologize. I can be a little insensitive to what is fast and what isn't. However, I do know that our people, especially in the United States of America, aren't being pushed to their mathematical limits. So, you know, journey with me as I find the balance of what's too much for you and what is enough. I've seen toddlers do, you know, computer programming and do algebra equations. So I know it's not beyond everybody.